I am Madison Bain with Miss Lindsay Ell on Build Series. Lindsay, welcome.
Thanks, Madison. It's so good to be here. I love your studio.
Everything, all the aesthetics. She's been shopping in the green rooms for all the couches.
Yeah, I'm like, I need that couch, that table.
So you have a lot going on. I mean, to even just go down the list, we've got the Criminal video on the way. We are touring with Brad Paisley. You're preparing for a huge summer of dates with Sugarland and Keith Urban.
Yeah.
It's good to be busy, right?
It is very good to be busy. I think last year I had 260 shows, and this year we're on track to play even more than that. And so it's amazing. I love being on the road. I love seeing fans. I love seeing some of them here today. It's truly been like the best kind of busy I could ever ask for.
That's awesome. I mean, when you're staring down hundreds of shows and like every day pretty much booked for all of 2018, how are you mentally preparing? Is it go, go, go? Where do you find the energy? What's inspiring you at this moment to kind of stay positive and upbeat?
I mean, I know I've prayed to be this busy ever since I was a little girl. So I remember moments where I was just like, I can't wait till I'm on the road all the time and I'm just playing show night after night after night. And now I'm getting to live that life. So if I ever complain once about it, I'm like, Lindsay, you remember when you were just like craving for anything to get close to that feeling. And so I'm fine. I will wake up at 3:30, 4 a.m. every morning and hop on a flight just fine.
I think your fans are probably very happy to hear that. I want to start with the Criminal song and music video. We've got a video coming in just a short few weeks. But first, I want to go back to the song. You know, when you were thinking what should be the next single off the project, how did you guys get to this one?
Criminal is the song that I've had for the longest out of everything we cut off the project. And I remember walking out of the writing room that day knowing that we had written something special. And it was the first time, you know, when I first moved to Nashville, I was still looking for my sound and still trying to figure out who I was. And I remember the day we wrote Criminal, I felt like I had tapped into that place. And it wasn't really until I met my producer, Christian Bush, until we fully were able to put together the whole picture. But I feel like Criminal was really the start of that way back when, you know. It's a love song written unlike most other love songs. And I'm so excited for you guys to see the music video and all of you guys to see the music video. It's a darker side of myself. I may or may not be in prison. I may or may not have committed a crime. And so it's fun. It turned into a little mini movie.
Is something about exploring music videos, you know, now as people are keying in more and like the songs are getting bigger, is that a new outlet for your creative energy where you just can't even believe the possibilities?
Absolutely. I love art in all forms. I mean, it's why I painted guitars. So I painted.
You painted all of them.
I painted one guitar for every song off the project. And this is the Waiting on You guitar, which I've been touring with a lot. But I just love seeing art in different forms and taking a song that I've written lyrics to and written music to and then seeing what else you can do with it, AKA putting it in artistic form, which I am not a painter for the record, but I was like, I mean, I'll just throw paint on a guitar and see what happens. And then, yeah, being able to bring a song to life in a music video, it shows a completely different perspective of a song, and it really helps you tell the story, sometimes from a perspective that you're not always able to get just listening to the lyrics of something. And so I have a blast shooting music videos. I feel like I'm, you know, an actress. I'm Jennifer Aniston on the set, and I'm like, wow, I could get used to this every day.
Has it made you think about movies and TV and other places to take your career?
Absolutely. That's definitely down the road. You know, my heart lies in music, and for sure, I have a lot to say on, you know, records to come. But I would love to pursue acting in the future for sure.
That's awesome. You know, you mentioned the day that you wrote it, how it was written unlike most love songs. Can we talk about what were you guys batting around in the studio and discussing concept-wise that sort of led you to this result?
So Criminal took 2 separate writing sessions to write. It was spread out through the course of 2 different days. And originally when we started, I had sort of the intro guitar riff and a little melody idea for the chorus. And we had originally called it like Walking Through Boston, or it was a terrible title, and I don't know what we were planning on going, or where we were planning on going with that chorus, but I had sort of some of the intro lyrics or first verse lyrics, and then from that we sort of spun it around, and we were like, okay, well, what if we wrote a love song, and some of the lyrics in the first verse were a little bit darker, and so it just sort of happened. We sort of wrote the song backwards. Criminal was like the last word we wrote for the entire song.
Do you usually like to sort of let the song pick where it goes, or how often is it that you're surprised by the result that you end up with, as opposed to the idea you came into the studio with?
Very often, actually. As a songwriter, I really try, especially now, just to let it kind of take you where it goes. You know, there's a beautiful thing about being vulnerable and being super receptive as a creator in any art form, but especially in songwriting. I mean, working with Christian in the studio has really taught me that, is just to be as honest as you can be. And sometimes as writers, like, we'll try to find this way to say this beautiful thing about this feeling, and it's like, you know what, sometimes that's really good just to say it. Like, I love you, I hate you, I am sad, and just to exactly say what you mean, and then wrap ideas around it. And so I've really tried, you know, even the past 6 months as I'm writing for the next record. We'll be hopping in the studio at the end of the year, and I'm really, really trying to tap into that space as well, and I think the songs are better because of it.
You have said that throughout the process of writing and recording the project that you feel like you're a different artist now. What about the process? Was it Christian? Was it the songs? Was it, you know, just the atmosphere in general that was so transformative for you?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of everything, but for sure, Mr. Christian Bush led that. As a producer, he's just been the artist, he's been the songwriter, he's been the producer. He understands all aspects of it and has worked with legendary producers like Hugh Padgham, and just was the perfect person for me to have in the control room, to be able to be like, you know what, Lindsay, play that little guitar part that you think is weird exactly like that, because those kind of vulnerabilities make us who we are as people. It's like, it's those weaknesses and those weird quirks that make us all different, that make us so if there weren't 10 people standing in a row, that we'd all be the same. And what's exciting about that? So he's really helped me sort of lean into some of those things that I was scared before of showing. Even before we got into the studio to start recording the project, Christian was playing a bunch of outside songs for me, and cutting outside songs is not something I do very often. But we found this song called Space, and I listened to it, and I was like, I can't sing that song, Christian. And he was like, you know what, Lindsay, everybody looks at you as a guitar player first, but I look at you as a singer first, and a guitar player second. Like, you play guitar fine, but I really want
better
you to,
than fine.
I mean, but he's like, I really want you to find your voice. And I think just for so long, being in a town like Nashville, where you're surrounded by so many incredible singers and songwriters, and you just sort of put yourself in this pecking line in a way. And some of my favorite artists, it's the package, you know, it's the way they sing their songs, the way they write their songs, the way they play their instrument that makes them one of my favorite artists to listen to. And it's when you throw all of those things in one bowl, it's like, wow, that's really great and that's really special. And it was recording Space, it was working with Christian in the studio that I just found a different voice within myself, I think, and I found a different area to open up to. And so now I do approach every song differently.
I'm sure that you are aware it is very rare to find a man in music who is going to tell a woman she does not have to be perfect. You have been doing this for a long time. Mm-hmm. Is that some of it too, that somebody just said, we don't have to be a cookie cutter here?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that is the most terrifying thing as an artist to hear, because it's like, what? I don't need to be perfect? I mean, I've worked my whole first few years of my life trying to be perfect. We just finished a few shows. We were on a tour in the UK, and I played Country to Country, which is a big music festival over there. And then Christian and I did a few shows together throughout the UK. Oh, cool. And we didn't make a set list. We combined our sets, so instead of having two separate sets where I play and then he played after me, we just got on stage together and we just called songs. And it was the coolest, most inspiring shows I've played in a long time, because there was no wrong, there was no right. It was just music, and it was creating things in the moment. And I was like, I don't know this song at all. I don't know what key it's in, but I'm just gonna play to it. And same, like, I would play a song of mine and Christian would start singing, I've got sunshine on it, and like in the middle of my song, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll throw something at you. And it was just like a ping pong match of, okay, we'll try this. And then he's like, well, you try this. And so it was so inspiring to be in that moment where it's like anything is possible. And regardless of if you fall flat on your face, that can be an experience if you just turn it around in the right way.
You are going to be seeing a lot more of him later this year as well, touring with Sugarland. Do you guys have a plan to sort of collaborate on stage, or what are you looking forward to there? Yeah.
We actually were tossing around the idea. Christian's brother, Brandon Bush, is arguably one of the most talented musicians I've ever met in my life. He plays keyboards for Sugarland and will be touring with us. We were toying around the idea that we would write a song for we would record a song for every city we go to.
Okay.
Which, who knows if that is going to happen every single date. But between that, and we were talking about the idea of maybe doing some pop-up shows. We loved the format of what we were doing in the UK so much that we think it could be fun to just randomly show up somewhere after the show and us both pull double duty and put on a show after the show.
Well, now that it's out in the universe, I think you're going to have to make
maybe,
that on that
right?
promise.
I know. I've dug our own grave.
You've been opening, obviously, for Brad Paisley for quite a while. The Weekend Warrior Tour is still going.
It's amazing.
When you look at a career the size of Brad Paisley, I mean, he plays every room you could ever want to play. Is that what Lindsay Ell wants for the tour that she books when she headlines? Yeah.
Yes, one day, absolutely. It's so inspiring. You know, I thought going on tour with Brad was going to be cool, but I didn't know that it would move me as much as it has. You know, he's such a great guitar player, but getting to watch him side stage every night, it's just like, oh my goodness, he's so good. Like, it's perfect. It's frustrating to me as a player to watch him play because it's like, it's so perfect. And yet it's motivating and inspiring at the same time because I oftentimes am backstage practicing while he's playing and watching his show and just trying to soak it all in. And I'm like, if Brad has that bar set, you know, that he consistently wants to improve his show and put on a better show for fans. And I mean, he has movies going on behind each song with the band while he's playing it for the crowd. It's just such an entertaining experience, and it's been amazing to get to watch him and learn from him for over a year.
I think it makes you realize that no one gets that big on accident, you know, that it really is a grind at all levels.
That is very true. Most A-listers that I've gotten to see them in concert, you get to see where it's true grit. You know, they just have such a passion for what they do, and they will go to the ends of the earth to make that possible.
Another huge tour, Keith Urban. You are joining him for a lot of dates. One of them is actually in your hometown.
I know.
Would you say, I mean, is it safe to say that's like maybe the date you're most looking forward to in 2018?
It's going to be a special night. Yeah, getting to open for Keith, who, you know, guitar player wise and stylistically wise has just been such a role model and mentor to me. And he's just such a good guy too. And getting to play my hometown arena in Calgary will be really, really special. So we can't wait for the fall.
You have toured with, I mean, at this point, some big guitar legends. I mean, Buddy Guy, like,
Yes.
does it sort of inspire you to keep working? I mean, I know you're talking about maybe now focusing more on vocals and that you're sort of seeing yourself in a different way, but like you are getting paired with some people who are true legends.
Oh, absolutely. Like, don't get me wrong, the guitar is still a huge part of who I am, and it is my voice. You know, I feel grateful that I do play because I feel like, you know, you can write a song as a songwriter and you can sing lyrics as a singer. But the fact that I can also play guitar, that's additional lyrics to a song. When I'm writing a guitar solo, it's like, well, those are all the things that I didn't say. And so, yes, the guitar will still be a huge part of everything I do. And just a few months ago, actually, we played a show in New York, and I remember being in soundcheck, and Billy Gibbons was right here from ZZ Top. Robert Randolph, who's arguably one of the craziest guitar players, was right here, and Richie Sambora was right here. And I just had this moment where I was pinching myself, and I'm like, if I would have told little girl Lindsay a few years ago that she would be in this moment, I would be like, you are crazy. But it's incredible to have moments like that and to be playing on the same stages as some of my legends, and I only hope that I can continue to do so.
I'm sure you're also aware of that. I mean, we just listed a lot of male names. It is cool to see a female name in that mix. Is that something that you see your career wanting to be, you know, for little girls who also want to pick up a guitar, having a guitar god who's a woman to follow?
Absolutely. It's one of the coolest things that a fan can come up to me and say that I've inspired them to start learning the guitar. And so that's a huge part of my mantra. I mean, I have hats that I sell at my merch table that say girl power. I'm just all about strong women who feel like they can do whatever they put their mind to. And I remember when I was a little girl, Shania Twain and Sheryl Crow and Bonnie Raitt were such role models to me. And so if I can turn that around and be role models to other little girls, then yeah.
I love that. And then Girl Power, for anybody who doesn't know, they're for sale on the website. They benefit like a
Yes.
bunch of organizations around the world.
Every piece of merch that I sell, I donate money to charity. So yeah, the Girl Power hats go to help girl organizations all across the country and the world. And I give money from every T-shirt to St. Jude. So I just love to be able to, use my platform to give back.
Yeah. How early in your career did you realize that, not just in country music, but music in general, that women sort of needed to band together? I mean, you were just at the Girls of Nashville concert. Like,
Yeah.
you do sort of work within this group to sort of promote female empowerment.
Absolutely. It's an incredible time, I think, for females in, country music specifically, but any entertainment industry, to be able to speak their voice and to be able to stand proud on their own 2 feet on the ground and being like, this is what I believe in. And so I'm just all about, giving more fuel to that fire and letting any female know that they can do whatever they put their mind to and that they don't need to be scared to speak their voice.
I love that. Sadly, that is all from me, but we have some questions from the audience.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hi, Craig.
Hi. My question is, I know from following you for about 4 years now, you are one of the most busy, if not the busiest artists, traveling from country to country, state to state, show after show. How you still are wide awake is another story. But what is the biggest obstacle that you have in general, going from place to place and basically living out of a suitcase?
I mean, the travel is more than I ever thought it was going to be. Sleep is difficult sometimes, especially, we'll be playing a show, and then I love to sign at the merch table anytime I can. And so we won't get back to the hotel usually till 1 a.m. And oftentimes we need to wake up by 4 to get on a flight to go to the next place. So doing that around the clock gets a little taxing eventually, but I can roll on 3 hours of sleep pretty well for like in a row. So sleep is probably the hardest thing. And then I would say just generally in my career, trusting myself is hard. And I've learned that, listening to that voice in your gut is very valuable.
Well, I think you're doing very well.
Thanks.
I think we have another one back here.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hi, how
Jackie.
are
Good
you?
to see you again.
Good to see you.
I just had a question about the John Mayer Continuum cover album.
Yes.
I want to know when that's coming out. Still
we were
waiting.
just talking about that actually in the green room. We are weeks away. I want to say hopefully at the end of May to give you a timeline, but I'm hoping earlier. I might give you a few sneak peeks here and there, but it's done, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear it. It's sort of my version of Continuum. So for people who don't know, Christian gave me this assignment as homework, I guess, to fully figure out who I was, because I had no idea. And he was like, Lindsay, record your favorite album. Like, what's your favorite album? And I was like, well, Christian, that would be Continuum by John Mayer. And he said, well, perfect. I want you to go record the whole thing. Your only rules are you have 2 weeks, you need to play all the instruments, and you need to do it by yourself at your studio at the label. So I cleared my schedule for 2 weeks, and 8 a.m. till 3 a.m. with the sleep thing again, Craig. I mean, I guess I just bring it on myself. I re-recorded the whole record, and it taught me so much about the way John Mayer plays guitar, about the way I play guitar, and most importantly, how I love to hear a band recorded in the studio. It was the coolest thing that I've ever heard a producer ask an artist to do, is take music that you love to listen to, recreate it in your own voice, because I'm kind of a track studio nerd, and then listen to that coming out of the speakers, and then see how you feel. And so I just learned so much from it that we were able to just make it kind of cool. It's not going to sound exactly like Continuum. We wanted to be different because that version of Continuum is the perfect version of Continuum. So it's raw, it's organic, it has a lot of heart in it, and I hope you guys like it.
I love that. And then we have one more question.
Yes. Hi. My question is, what is your favorite song to play live?
That is a very good question. I mean, to say Criminal, would that be facetious? It's just a song that I've had for the longest, and I feel like so many fans were requesting. A few of them are here today. When are you going to release a song, Lindsay? When are you going to release a song? And for years, I had live versions only available, and live versions are always like imperfect and wrong timing and crazy things going on in the background. And so I'm just so excited that it has been given the chance that I really felt like it deserved. And it's amazing to see people warm up to it and fans fall in love with it as much as we do. And the fact that it's 21 on the charts right now, that's insane. That's insane. So thank you guys. So yeah, that's probably my favorite one.